Jodi. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card using the stamp set Papaya Collage. So there's some stamping on the back here and then this framed piece that really sets it off. So let's go ahead and get started. The cardstock I'm using for the base of the card is Soft Sky, and it's 8.5 by 5.5 inches, which I will fold in half to get our standard 4.25 by 5.5 inch card. On this piece, I am going to use this stamp that comes in the set, that's the frame, with the Summer Starfruit ink. So what I like to do with this is just hold it this way to ink it up. So I'll just tap the ink on, and then I can go ahead and stamp it down onto my very vanilla cardstock. This is just a scrap of cardstock. The size of it doesn't really matter as long as it can fit the whole frame. So see, it's even crooked, and that'll be just fine. So I'll set that aside for just a moment and pull this piece in. This piece is 2 3/4 by 3.5 inches, and I'm going to just tap this gently on here. You want to make sure you don't tap too hard because it's really easy to get ink in the center there, which would then come off on your project. So just kind of tap or even twist a little bit real gently. And then I'm going to stamp in the center of this piece of Very Vanilla. And then I'll go ahead and add some other stamps as well. This leafy piece with some Soft Sky ink. I'm just going to add one of those down here. Have it overlap just a tiny bit, and then just twist it a little bit and put this one up here. Okay, then I'm going to take my regular adhesive, and see, that's how I knew to tell you that tip, because I messed up the first time I did it. This will go right here on the center of the card. And then we're going to come back to this piece that I stamped. I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Trimmer. And what's nice about this is that I can line up right in this groove is where it's going to cut. So I can line this up here and take my cutting blade and cut that. And then come over here. So even though I got it a little crooked right there, I can get that all straightened out with the trimmer. And just do all 4 sides. Okay, so now I've got all 4 sides cut, but if you remember on the card, I made it into a frame, so I want to cut the middle out of this as well. So what I'm going to do is line it up here, and with the Stampin' Trimmer, you can see that little spot right there. That's exactly where it cuts. So if I line that up, and then stop when I get to the bottom there, and turn it and do the same thing, I can just cut out the center of that frame. So I'll just finish that on the last 2 sides, and then we'll add this to the card. So this will just pop out, and then what I want to do, I'll just set, actually I'm going to need to use that in a moment to set this aside. What I'm going to do is take some Stampin' Dimensionals and put them carefully in each corner, because I don't want it to show through on the front, so I need to make sure where I place them is not visible on the front. And then just because these pieces are a little bit longer, I'm going to add, let's see here, I'm going to add some right in the middle of each side too. Okay, then I just need to peel the backing off of all of these, and we'll place it right over the focal point on the card. Okay, I think I got them all. Okay, so we will just set this right over, and it makes such a difference to have that raised up with dimensionals. Even if I cut it out and just put it on there flat with the regular adhesive, it just wouldn't have the same effect as the dimensionals here raising it up. So the last thing I need to do on this card is take my Summer Starfruit ink again, and this time with the butterfly image, just tap it gently and stamp, oops, flip it over and try again. There we go. Stamp on that scrap paper. This is what I actually cut out of that frame. So I just use that to do the butterfly. And then you can use some paper snips and just cut right around the wings of that butterfly. Okay, now my butterfly is cut out and I want to add dimensionals behind it. On my sheet here, you can see that there's these along the edge. I like to save those and use those for projects just like this. So I just use my thumbnail to kind of tear that off, and I'm going to put one of these on each wing of the butterfly and then peel off the backing and add that right to the middle of our card. And we'll just place that right here in the middle. And the very last thing we have to do is just add one of our basic pearls. So I'll just take one of those sheets and make sure I get the back adhesive with it and set that right in the center. So another quick and creative card, and a great way to use your paper trimmer other than just cutting your cardstock to size. It's very fun to create those frames. And even if you didn't have this stamp, you could certainly just do that with another piece of solid cardstock or designer paper to make a frame. Thanks so much for watching. For daily creative inspiration, visit my blog or find me on Facebook at Jodi Reinert Stamps.